Howdy heretics! Jehovah Witnesses are very well organized, and they take notes and collect information about their own congregants, how many hours they do, health things and wrongdoings. They also collect information about people in the territory, people that are not Jehovah Witnesses. And they also collect and keep information about ex-members. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's illegal, so I have been sending a lot of complaints about this. And voila, this is the first page of the national newspaper Vårt Land in Norway. And there's a pretty handsome apostate on the front page, and it says here that we are complaining about Jehovah Witnesses gathering information that they are not privy to. So they are finally taking me serious. And if you're a Jehovah Witness watching this, you're thinking, why would we collect information about former members? Haha, they are paranoid and bitter. Well, thanks for watching. And secondly, you are not an elder. Because if you were an elder, you would know about the shepherd of the flock book. It works like this. If you have a McDonald's, you get a McDonald's franchise manual. And this manual tells you how to run a McDonald's. And if you have a Wathctower franchise, you get a Wathctower franchise manual that tells you how to run a Wathctower franchise, aka Jehovah Witness congregation. So they have a Wathctower franchise manual, and it's called Shepherd the Flock of God. And it's a secret manual that normal witnesses are not allowed to see. But you heard the expression following direction. We should follow direction. We should follow direction. Yeah, so we assume that the elders are following direction, and they will follow what says in the franchise manual. And this book have rules for how to gather information, how to take note, how to keep the congregation archive, take notes about wrongdoing. That means investigating crime and gathering information. And all of this might be illegal, different countries. And so I can show you now on page 6 in this newspaper. And I put a lot of work in this. Is that because I hated Jehovah Witnesses? Can I just show you? This is the picture. And I like this picture. It's me and my goat. So reason why I like it is because normally when you have apostates in the media, they look like this. I lost my family. They look bitter and angry, and of course they are allowed to be bitter and angry because it's not fun losing your family. But I chose a happy picture because there's a life to have outside the cult. So this guy here, he is the leader of the Norwegian Dataprotection Authoroty, and he's finally taking it serious. And so this is the article. It's written in Norwegian. I just translate some things, and it says that the authority has received a lot of tips and complaints about the way Jehovah Witnesses are collecting information, and now they will do something about it. One of the plaintiffs is Per Jonas Gustafsson, that's me. He writes that in his complaint that the witnesses gather information without permission and stuff that they are not privy to. And it goes beyond the normal stuff, because maybe they would collect information like my address. They are not privy to that, maybe. Shoe size, well, they are not privy to that. But witnesses, they will collect information about my sexual activity. As long as they follow direction, they will do that. And that's not good. So obviously I don't like that, and I complain. So it says, I have been member of Jehovah Witnesses since I was born and until I was disfellowshipped last year. I was disfellowshipped while I was at the convention in Australia. So I found a letter when I come home that I was disfellowshipped. Sneaky bastards. So, and it says, I have myself been a part of making list about, among other things, what language people speak when we go to door. The organization is extremely well organized, and my experience tells me that they have notes and archives about basically everything they do. He claims he was disfellowshipped because he criticized the leaders, but he hasn't believed in the mythology since 2004. The last 16 years he was only a member to have contact with his family and friends. Gustafsson stressed the fact that he's don't have any grudge against the rank and file Jehovah Witness member. It's the organization that's is doing this that I think is wrong. So anyway, so if you think about this, when people collect information, that's a crime if you do it without people's consent. But Jehovah Witnesses, you know, when they quote unquote investigate wrongdoing, they go beyond that and register your political opinion or your sexual activity. I can give you one example from my own life. My ex-wife left me because of the religion. She left me with the word, I love you, but I love them more. It's really sad. You lose your whole family when you leave the cult. So I lost my now ex-wife and my family, and later she married another man. And if you're a Jehovah Witness, you heard the expression free to remarry. Jehovah Witnesses believe that if you leave your husband, you're not allowed to marry someone else, even if you're legally divorced, because you have to be Wathctower approved divorced. And that means the elders have to know whether I had sex or not. So there's a situation where I'm not a Jehovah Witness and she marries another man, which is allowed to do, I wish her well. But then they have a meeting with my ex-wife and she has to inform them about my sexual activities. And if they follow direction, they are sitting there taking notes. So at one point they had notes about my sexuality. Maybe they burnt them later. I don't know. And Jehovah Witnesses claim that they are allowed to do this because Jesus gave them the authority of everything in 1919. He appeared invisibly and told them inaudibly that they are working for him. And they're also very proud of that when they have a judicial meeting like they had with my ex-wife, they pray to God and the outcome will be from the Holy Spirit. So she sat down with them, tried to convince them that I had sex. She left me so she would be free to remarry. But the Holy Spirit said, no, 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 he has not had sex. He's a very moral apostate. So she was disfellowshipped for what they refer to as an immoral marriage. She married someone else without being free to remarry, because according to the Holy Spirit, I had never had sex with another person. Well, the Holy Spirit was wrong. Happens sometimes when it's a man-made organization. So if my ex-wife is watching this, you can take this video and show it to the stupid elders. Anyway, the Holy Spirit was wrong. That happens in many religions, including Jehovah Witnesses. Anyway, so another thing that Jehovah Witnesses do, they collect information about the people in the territory. And then the Wathctower, they would try to blame the congregants and say, well, some of the witnesses take notes, but we don't know anything about it. Well, first thing, Jehovah Witnesses, the Wathctower told them to take notes. Secondly, Jehovah Witnesses claim that Jesus elected them in 19 and gave them the authority to appoint elders, ministerial servants, pioneers, etc. So, if they're appointed by you, you have a responsibility. You cannot just claim that they are private citizens. Secondly, Jehovah Witnesses collect information about people's language. If you've been a Jehovah Witness, you know what I'm talking about. So, I was in the Polish congregation in Oslo. I have been in the Spanish congregation. I've been in the Russian congregation in Oslo. So I've been taking notes about people. We also have, I think we had a Turkish congregation, so we were writing up Turkish people. And none of them has given their consent to be on a list of foreign-speaking people. So that's a crime. And if you think about it, it's not one crime, it's two crimes. Because the people who speak Polish are Polish by ethnicity. It's not like people speak Polish unless they are from Poland. And if there was a Norwegian that spoke Polish as a second language, we would not put him on the list. So the list of Polish-speaking people are de facto a list of ethnicity. And in Europe, it's extremely illegal to make a list of people's ethnicity. It has been illegal ever since Adolf Hitler thought it was a good idea to make a list of all the Jews. And technically, if someone steals Wathctower's list of Polish people, if a racist anti-Polish organization would take that list, it could be used for something bad. And that's why it is highly illegal to make a list of all Polish people. And Wathctower cannot blame this on the congregants and said, well, they made a list of all the Polish people. No, because Wathctower told them to do that. So I'd just like to paint a picture. Imagine if I'm a ministerial servant in the Polish congregation, and I believe in Jehovah, I believe that we should obey Caesar and respect the law of the land. Wathctower always say that we are the most law-abiding citizens, so I look at this list and say, oh, this list is illegal. I'm in charge of the territory, and this list is illegal, and since I'm in charge, I will destroy it. What would happen? Wathctower would demote him because Wathctower claimed that this list is Wathctower property. So Wathctower registered people due to ethnicity, and they can't blame anyone. They can't blame it on the congregants because they claim they own these territories. And since we still have Spanish and Polish and Turkish congregations in Norway, it's safe to assume that they still have these territories. It means they still are a criminal organization. So this guy, Bjørn Erik Thon, he's the boss of the Norwegian Data Protection. He says they will take this, they will prioritize this thing because this is the essence of data protection. You know, if a shoe salesman register my shoe size, well, he's not privy to that. But it's not the big case, really. It's not the worst thing that ever happened. But when an organization register people's political opinions, people's sexuality, people's ethnicity, that's a big problem. So Wathctower have to answer about this, and then it's Tom Frisvold. He's an old friend of mine. We're not friends anymore because I think he's always lying. He's a spokesperson for Wathctower, and he says that he feels safe that Wathctower do everything the legal way and there's nothing wrong, blah, 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 blah. Well, like I said, if the elders follow directions and the ministerial servants follow directions, well, then there is a problem. So, like, I was disfellowshipped for complaining about the Royal Australian Commission, where the Australian branch had 1,006 alleged pedophiles in their archive, and not one of them was reported to the government. This is a bad thing. And I was disfellowshipped because I bring reproach to Jehovah's name. Well, it was Wathctower who made the archive. And my father said that he would be shunning me for bringing reproach to Jehovah's name and telling people about Geoffrey Jackson's testimony. So I asked my father, will you be shunning Geoffrey Jackson? And my father didn't answer. I said, well, if I did something wrong, Geoffrey Jackson did something wrong. Will you write a letter to Geoffrey Jackson and try to reason with him? My father was dead quiet, so his love for Geoffrey Jackson is bigger than the love for his son. I think that qualify as a coward, don't you think? Because if I'm disfellowshipped for mentioning Geoffrey Jackson's testimony in the Australian Royal Commission, wouldn't it be fair just to talk to Geoffrey Jackson? You know, if your brother do something, you should talk to him. Anyway, so being an apostate actually takes a lot of time. It's like being a pioneer. So I've been working on some videos this week, and I basically spent the whole week working on the videos. So big thanks to my patrons that helped me, because I have to take this work time out of other things. But I just took a break from the other videos. I'm making one about Jehovah Witnesses mental health. I'm looking forward to that video. Anyway, I hope you like this video and have a wonderful life. Just look at my goats. This is what I call a paradise. We have a paradise already now. So, with these words, I hope you have a wonderful day, and please join my 144,000 subscribers. Thank you.